morning. My name's Karen, and I'm a yoga teacher. And we're going to do about a 20-minute stretch this morning. My lighting's not optimal. My room is still in progress. But I hope you'll get the gist of this and something we can do in the morning just to start the day and feel better. Pretty much the only prop I use for the stretch is something long. This is my favorite band. It has dividers. You can get them online. Sometimes you can find them at Five Below. They have numbers on them so you can kind of have a sense of how much you're stretching. But you can use a tie, you can use a regular yoga strap, you can use a stretch band of any kind. You could even use a scarf, or you could use absolutely nothing if you don't have anything on hand. I also work with a chair sometimes, so I have this chair here. So let's begin, and let me just get this so you can see me. Sorry. Okay. Here we go. All right, so we're going to just get into our Tadasana mountain pose, which brings equal weight into both sides of the body. And just kind of relax, settling in, just taking a scan of the body, having a sense of how we're feeling. And I like to start sometimes just pedaling the feet, just loosening up the ankles. And then giving the shoulders a little bit of a roll. And I think I've mentioned, I gear my classes to people that are primarily seniors, as a senior myself, but anyone could do this stretch. I'm going to drop the chin towards the collarbone, and I'm just going to let the neck release and gently rotate the neck. If you have issues in the neck, be very mindful. You can brush your chin side to side. Really anything that wakes up the neck a little bit in a gentle way and loosens up any tension that might be present. Then I'm going to step out just a little bit wider and take my right leg out a little bit. I'm going to square my hips and keep my spine neutral through the practice of stretching. I'm going to hinge forward and move towards the leg to get a stretch in the back of the leg, primarily the hamstring muscles that are in the back of the thigh. I'm going to inhale and reach up. Open up the arms. Inhaling, coming forward, and continue this a few times, relaxing the gaze downward or inward so the neck isn't straining. I am looking at the screen from time to time, but you want to keep your gaze towards your front leg or even downward in towards your body. And then releasing and coming back to center and just observing what happened, what transitioned in the body, being aware. Length usually comes in on the right side when we do that. So now we're going to go and do the same thing on the left side. The stride is up to you. I'm engaging my abdominals gently and I'm hinging towards the leg. You reach my arms downward, coming up. And you can open up the arms. You really have lots of options here. This is primarily, again, for the back of the leg. Maintaining neutrality in the spine so it's safe. Sometimes we need to do more or less on a side. I always recommend that you be aware of how you're feeling as you move, coming back to our home base, mountain pose, and just assessing, and we want to have a little more balance on the sides. I'm going to roll open on my right shoulder and take a comfortable side stretch, lifting the left arm, maybe gazing, rooting down through the right heel to get just a little more hip stretch, and then coming up and over to the other side. Again, if your shoulders are not happy here, find a place that you can move and stretch out each side of the body, and then coming up and rolling the shoulders a little bit. And then I'm gonna find something long, and I'm using this strap, which I mentioned is my favorite. I'm gonna take it behind me. And I'm gonna open up the arms to stretch out in the pectoral muscles in front of the body and hinge again at the hips. This also tones the arms, strengthens the upper back. Then I'm just gonna tuck the chin in a little bit and move towards the legs. And again, this is also a hamstring stretch. Couple of deep breaths. And then coming up, and I'm going to release. You're welcome to do a couple more of these on your own just to see how it feels. I'm going to turn the chair around. I'm going to place my right foot up on the chair. And now I'm going to do a stretch for our hip flexors on the standing leg, on the left leg, as I just pulse forward and back. This is also wonderful for balancing, but if you need to hold on to something, you can do that. And I find a lot of tightness just from walking. I walk my dog often, and I find that this puts a lot of tightness into the legs. So that's why I focus usually on a hamstring stretch, in case anybody's wondering. Now I'm going to step the leg out a little bit longer, and I'm going to plant the heel. The knee can bend. I'm keeping my hips square and my spine neutral. And I'm again moving towards the stretch behind the leg, inhaling, lifting the arms. I'm going to open up into T, coming back to center. You can flex your foot or you can keep it more relaxed. It's up to you. Coming up into T. And again, I'm going to come back up, and again, keeping the abdominals gently engaged. That's where our strength comes from. I'm going to come out of the posture and relax the arms and step down. So once we do that, there's usually a shift on the sides. It's going to be a little bit different for everybody. Listen to your own body. I'm going to turn my chair around. I'm pretty close to the wall here. And now I'm going to do the same thing with the left leg. I'm going to start with placing the foot on the chair. And if you have an issue and the chair is not comfortable to do this, I recommend just do it on the floor, or if you have a yoga block, that would be wonderful, or even a small stool, you can use that. So once I feel stable, then I'm going to start to shift forward and back to get the stretch on the top of the right thigh. And keeping the gaze forward, I'm of course looking at the screen some of the time. You can also move your arms here if you like. You can come forward. You can go back. I'm pretty much focusing on the legs right here. And then after a bit of that, this is just a brief stretch to get the day going. Then I'm going to plant the heel, and I'm going to hinge towards the legs. And now I'm going to invite the arms to move. I might come back into a T, coming forward a few times. If we flex the feet, we're going to get a little more muscle tone in the legs. And I'm going to go one more time. And then release, and I'm going to step down and just kind of have a sense of hopefully finding a little more balance on the sides of the body. So for this stretch, I'm going to step out a little bit wider. And this is just a standing version of an up dog and a down dog. So I'm going to reach up, pulling the abs in, opening the hands, and I'm going to hinge at the top of the hips and move forward. And let me move myself so you can see this a little bit better. I'm just beginning to put some of this yoga out on YouTube, and it's a learning process. It's also fun, but if you'll bear with me, I'll hopefully get it better each time. So I'm going to have a stride that's comfortable. I'm going to reach up, opening the hands, and then I'm reaching away from the legs, lifting the hips, feeling the stretch in the back of the legs. The neck releases. Inhaling up, moving from the inside, which I'm going to talk about at some point, and coming down again, and then coming up and coming back to center. And sometimes it's nice just to circle the hips a little bit, loosening up the hips. And now I'm going to go to the wall and move into a little shoulder release. You have options here as well. I'm placing my right hand on the wall. My feet are straight ahead. And I'm going to start to pivot the feet out towards the center of the room until I feel a little stretch in the front of the shoulder. The outside arm can relax on the side of the body. I'm going to turn my head in towards the wall and take a few breaths. And you can lower the arm if you need to. And then I'm going to look away from the wall. And I'm going to walk the feet back to center, release the arm, and assess back in mountain pose. And usually that does release the shoulder that was towards the wall. Again, it can be different for everybody. I'm going to turn around and do, excuse me, something similar on this side. So I'm going to place the feet, I'm going to place my hand on the wall, and I'm going to start to just walk the feet away from the wall. And again, you can take your arm back. I'm going to look towards the wall, try to keep the shoulders relaxed, focus on the breathing. And then I'm going to look towards the center of the room or away from the wall. And then I'm going to come back to center and release. And again, assess, excuse me, I seem to have a cough, how the shoulders are feeling. I'm going to take the hands now behind the bony part of the skull. I'm going to drop the chin down. I'm going to hug the head into the hands to stretch out the back of the neck. And if you want more intensity, just bring the chin in closer to the body, or you can back it off. And then I'm going to pick the head up, gently pausing. I'm going to look up, opening up the throat, which is one of our energy centers. And then back to center. And then I'm just going to do a little thoracic turn. This is in the upper part of the rib cage. Head can go wherever you like. Coming back to center, just a little twist, very gentle, over to the other side. And then coming back to center and releasing the arms. And taking a few breaths just to notice. And now I'm going to invite a basic sun salutation in. You can do this sitting in a chair, or you can do this standing up. I'm going to keep the feet planted. You can bring the feet in closer, whatever's comfortable. I'm going to open up the arms and breathe in and look up. The hands can reach up. Exhale, I'm going to hinge at the hips and take a forward hinge and bow in. I'm going to lift and lengthen the spine. Move my hair. Bow in again. Notice how the legs feel, and again, moving from the inside and closing at the heart center. Do two more like that. Breathing in, feeling energy to take into the day. Breathing out, forward hinge. This is Uttanasana. Lifting and lengthening on the inhalation, so the spine is neutral here. Exhaling, bowing in. Inhaling, coming up. The arms can come forward or out to the side and closing at the heart. One more time. Breathing in, feeling energy. Breathing out. Lifting and lengthening. There are gaze points for this, but we'll talk about those next time. Bowing in and coming up and closing at the heart. And then releasing. And then I'm going to sit in the chair. So let me move that over here. I'm just going to turn the corner of the chair. I'm just going to take a stretch towards the right leg. So wherever the stretch feels good for you, that's where you need to be. Take as many or as few breaths as you like. Then you'll come back up to center and move to the other side. Notice what you feel. Try to keep the neck relaxed. And then you're gonna do this on the other side, so typically I would turn to the other side of the chair, or you can stay where you are and just go to the other leg. Both hands can come down, both hands can stay up, this is all up to you. It's how you feel in your own body, and each day it's different. Then I'm gonna come back up, walking the feet in and inhaling myself out of the chair. And now I'm gonna do a little bit for the outer hip. I'm gonna reach across with my right leg. The knees are soft. My knees are soft, they're bending. It's a little safer way to do this. And then I'm gonna just arc over to the left side. Breathing in and out. Good for balancing. You can also pick a heel up. You can pick both heels up. I'm gonna come over to the other side, switching the gaze. And being sure to breathe into both sides of the rib cage. And then I'm going to come back to center or to center. I'm going to bring the palms together in namaste. I'm going to take a bow in, taking the fingertips towards the earth. And just being here for a few breaths, dropping the gaze inward so the neck releases. And then coming up and closing with a namaste here. And then coming back. Assessing what that did, and then switching sides. Again, we want to have the knees bend. They need to be soft. And I'm going to take the right hand now. I'm going to arc over to the left side. You can gaze downward. You can gaze up into your elbow, wherever you need to be. Again, you can lift a heel for balancing. Both heels, lots of options, and then back to center and other side. And this time when we come up, we're going to take the arms behind the back. I'm holding my hands, the shoulders are relaxed, the abdominal muscles are gently toning. You can walk your hands away from your body and bow in. Dropping the gaze inward, staying there for a few breaths. And then coming back up and releasing and uncrossing. And we're going to finish with an inhale, rising star, feel your energy. Exhale, falling star, arms can come back, palms are up, it's an internal arm rotation. Inhale, rising star. Exhale, falling. And one more time, inhale, rising. And exhale, falling. And then we'll bring the legs back to center. We'll close with the palms in front of the heart center, wishing everyone a beautiful day. The light inside of me honoring the light inside of you. Namaste.